So, yes, this is Mindful Monday, and it's time to come in and drop into our hearts and really try to find the ears of our hearts today and enter into this domain of what we call deep listening. And so, just like every other Monday, we're going to drop in and do a little softening and coming home meditation that brings us back into the body and brings us back into the moment. And then we'll start into that little portal of the heart of our meditation, which is today all about that deep listening. So we'll just start out by taking that nice, beautiful breath into your heart space. And just allow yourself to welcome yourself to the meditation today. Maybe saying hello to your beautiful heart. And we just want to bring that awareness to the top of your head. And if you'd like to open up your crown chakra with breath and intention, move that beautiful access point up to the crown. Again, that access point is where we access information outside of our own energy bubble. So there's usually an access point where we, start looking for that information. And so we just sweep any openings that you may have in your energetic field up to that crown point. And so our crown chakra is nice and open. Access point is aligned. This way we can be an open channel and really be open to receive any subtle messages from the universe today. And we're just going to start out by taking that deep breath in to the top of your head. Breathing in and exhaling into the top of your head. And softening the tensions of the day. Bringing that awareness. Letting go of our analytical mind and just being present. And softening into this moment. Coming into the temples and softening that area around your eyes. And it's a beautiful thing to think about that in-breath bringing the awareness to these areas in your body, and the exhale being that place of letting go and softening. Letting go of any tensions of the day, any worries, anything that you're holding on to in these areas of your body. Coming into that area around the jaw. Just breathing into the jaw. Softening. Maybe even bringing that slack jaw. And if you'd like to bring that little half smile to your lips. They call this the smile of Kuan Yin, or the Buddha. And that's because it's like this half smile of just knowing that all is well. Right here, right now, all is well. And seeing if you can bring your awareness to your ears and the ear canals. And just breathing in and seeing if you can expand the awareness, the opening. Opening the ears, listening and listening and listening. And breathing into the neck, feeling those vertebrae in the cervical spine. Exhaling all of the tension, the heaviness, any weight. Noticing as you bring your awareness to your neck, if there's a new opening available. Perhaps an expanded kind of space available now. Breathing into the shoulders, just let them drop. Softening and softening, letting the burdens of the day go. So many of us carry the weight of the world right there on the shoulders. It's okay to put it down for right now. There's nothing to worry about right here in this space. It's just you and your breath and the softness. And taking a breath into the chest, noticing the rise and fall with each breath. And softening your beautiful heart. And allowing it to just open. This is a safe and sacred space. A beautiful place to be vulnerable. Just breathing into that space in the back of your heart. And notice as you do what happens between the shoulder blades. There's so much tension that is carried right there between the shoulder blades, that place in the back of your heart where we tend to store the old heartaches and sometimes pain. So we just breathe and soften and allow whatever needs to happen to happen. Coming into the belly, taking that breath into the belly. Soften and soften. And if you notice any tightness gripping in the belly, any resistance to the softening, it's okay. We can just lean in and allow it to be. And can you notice your spine? Bringing the awareness and attention to the spine and just softening. That lumbar spine and that sacral spine, wanting to just loosen up. So we can do that with breath and intention, just bringing that awareness there. Breathing into the pelvic bowl. Feeling the hips. Softening and softening. No place to go, nothing to do, just be. Be here with your breath and your softness, your willingness to open to your own softness and your own vulnerability. Can you notice a difference between your legs and the rest of your body right now? Mm-hmm. So we bring that awareness into the legs, the breath into the legs. And into the knees. Bringing that breath and awareness to the calves and the ankles. And those precious, precious feet. Breathing into the toes. By starting out coming home to the body, we allow ourselves to start doing that deeper inquiry and see at this point where we need to soften more, or perhaps what needs your attention in your body. So we just notice it and come home to the softening. So we know that our practice here today is for our highest good, for the highest good of humanity, and for the highest good of the Pachamama. And we create this safe and sacred space to do deep exploration in this mindfulness way. And so if you'd like to dedicate your practice today, now is a great time to do that. You can dedicate it to a person, a place, a thing. Dedicate it to that crazy eclipse moon. So we come into the heart of our practice today in deep listening, to be able to listen with the ears of our hearts. It is a training. It is a practice. And we want to be able to come into this practice for the betterment of our relations, our relationship with ourselves, with the universe, with our families, our loved ones, so that we can become better listeners and therefore better communicators. When we can listen honestly, compassionately, across our differences, diversities, we become better humans. And so as we are practicing today, I want you to be open to the varying sounds around you and see if you can start allowing the sounds to come in. Oftentimes we see them as distractions, or we tune them out completely. But oftentimes coming into the sound resonance of what is happening around us brings us the opportunity to come home to ourselves and come home to our surroundings and really ground into what is truth in this moment. A beautiful place to begin work on shifting or continue our work and shifting our patterns of communication is with this deep listening, to be able to listen with the ears of our heart, to not only hear the sounds and the resonance, but when we're communicating with each other, that we can start to hear what's not only being said, but what's not being said. So just as we understand it's important to exercise daily for good health, we also need to exercise and strengthen our ability as listeners. Sometimes it's hard to separate our own needs and our own interests from others, and we come from an automatic bias that says unconsciously, how does this affect me? What can I say to get things my way? Sometimes we don't even listen, or we do the surface listening to just get quite enough information that instead of really listening to what the other person may be saying, we're already thinking about our response. We attend to the surface words rather than listening with the ears of our heart. So when we're listening with the ears of our heart, it means really deeply listening with an open mind, not in anticipation of anything else. Allowing yourself the time and the space to fully absorb the resonance, the frequency. Deep listening allows others to feel heard. And this is an important thing in our relationships. So we practice. We practice this deep listening from a receptive and caring place. And it's a receptive and caring place for yourself. As well as the other person. It is for yourself because that listening develops your generosity, your empathic abilities, your ability to support, and your ability to trust. It's an ongoing practice of suspending self-oriented or reactive thinking. We're not listening to respond, we're listening to listen, to widen and expand our awareness into the unknown. We listen to resonate with the frequencies and to build an understanding. accepting the sounds around us and the layers of the sounds that we may generally not even tune into. Thich Nhat Hanh says deep listening is the kind of listening that can help relieve the suffering of another person. He calls it compassionate listening. That you listen with only one purpose: to listen. He says that deep listening helps us to recognize the existence of wrong perceptions in another person and wrong perceptions within ourselves. The other person has a wrong perception about himself and about us. And we have the wrong perception about ourselves and the other person. And that, he says, is the foundation for violence and conflict and war. They believe that the other group is trying to destroy. But wrong perceptions cannot be removed through violence. They need to be removed by deep listening with the ears of your heart. So we have to be willing to let go of judgment when we're practicing this deep listening, instead of being annoyed with the dog barking or the unpleasant conversation. We have to let go of the judgment and be willing to just allow what is and not view it as pleasant or unpleasant. So on an interpersonal level, we begin to start with the exterior experience by just noticing the sounds around you. And start listening to the world speaking to you in those subtle, subtle ways. We begin to just observe the sounds, and you may notice that your resonance begins to tune to the natural sounds and frequencies around you. Can you hear your breath? Can you hear the electrical sounds? The busyness of life around you, the miracles that are taking place, coming through in all the sounds around you. The busyness of the birds communicating in their own way. Anytime we feel separate, alone, we can tune into the sounds around us that are creating a frequency, that are coming straight into your ears, straight into your heart, knowing that we're never separate. And we can allow those sounds to be whatever they are without any triggers, without any want for them to be any different than what they are. You may notice a rhythm, the natural circadian rhythm of your own little world around you. The beauty of life unfolding in all of its frequencies and sounds. Not analyzing the sounds, just hearing them and allowing them. It's all in perfect harmony. Perfect resonance. Start bringing that awareness of that deep listening to the interior. Seeing if you can hear your heartbeat. Your own rhythm in your body. And when we start fine-tuning our listening, that deep, deep listening, we can start that deeper inquiry on our interior and start listening to all the subtleties that's happening within our body. Really coming home and listening. And you train your mind to just keep coming back to listening. And notice how your body feels when you're in this open, generous space of deep listening. Is your body reacting to some of the sounds? Is your emotional self reacting to some of those sounds? It's just a noticing and observing. The universe is always speaking to us. This is the song of the evening for you, right here, right now. It's a great inspiration. When we practice in this way of deep listening, we become compassionate listeners. We are able to hear, really hear in our relationships, in our communication. We're able to really develop strong communication skills by practicing this deep listening. It teaches us patience. It teaches us to be open, receptive. It teaches us to look for the subtle meaning and the intention of the person that we're speaking with. So by doing these beautiful meditations and deep listening, we're actually training our mind to become generous and empathic supporters in our way of communicating. And it also allows us to very quickly tune into the resonance of nature and shift our own consciousness, our own frequencies, so that we begin to attune and come into harmonic resonance with the frequencies and the awareness of those frequencies around you. So we just tune in and allow the sounds to quickly bring you home. So it's a beautiful meditation to come back to over and over again when you find yourself caught up in the head, in the mind, in the mind drift. The 10,000 things that kind of usurp our mind throughout the day. The thinking on thinking on thinking. So when we catch ourselves in that space with the 10,000 things and the thinking on thinking, when we catch ourselves in that space, we can quickly just take that breath. And it's a beautiful tool to just tune in to the frequencies around you. Listen. Just listen to all the sounds. And know that you're not alone. Know that the universe is always singing a song for you. Not just any song, a very magical song. The layering of the sounds of your environment. I think so often we try really hard to tune out the sounds around us, so it can be a little bit of a practice. But it's a beautiful way to just dial in to the present moment immediately. we give thanks. We give thanks and gratitude to all these sounds, to the neighbors, to the birds, to all the wind blowing the wind chimes, to all that is in your community, in your house, giving thanks for the electricity, giving thanks to the water that's running through your pipes, all the things that are making sounds right here for you right now, reminding you that life is beautiful. All the little messages coming in through frequencies. And here you are, tuned in, turned on. This is where the magic is. This is where we get to start listening to the subtle ways that Spirit speaks. And so taking a nice deep breath in with so much gratitude, exhaling so much love to all of these frequencies, all of these sounds, all that has happened in the world around you to create this resonance. Phew. So much love, so much love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope in some way you've tuned in a deeper way and have explored the ears of your heart. And a little challenge for you this week is to see if you can stay with this and really be present to the resonance that is around you for this week and come home to that beautiful, beautiful resonance that is speaking to you. And yeah, The way the universe and spirit is showing up is miraculous. So I wish you all so much love this week. So we'll see you next week. All the love.